Okay, here's a video for today for primaries. You can see I still have the blow-off tube. And if you look, so this is the blow-off. You can see at the bottom there's little bubbles that are still kind of coming up every once in a while. Although it's not quite as active, you can see that there's not that much foam coming up from my bottle. We're still at high Croizon. Croizon is this foam right up here. But as I shine the light through, I can see there are definite gaps coming up, and you can see the yeast line right there where this was actually blowing off. So it is starting to settle. Let's take a look at the beer. Hopefully you can see there's still activity going on. Obviously it's not as vigorous, not those flying yeasts that you can see, but it is still there. We'll go a little bit farther down to the bottom, and we should start to see that some of the stuff has precipitated to the bottom. Not quite that thick, but it's there. Alright, there you go, yeah, so there it is. This is the beer where it sits. So now the idea is to have all this Croizon settle back in. And then once I see kind of just like a minor bit of foam at the top, this white portion, not this yellow, but this white, then we'll start looking at taking specific gravity readings. And then once I've determined 3 accurate days, 3 successive days of stable analog specific gravity readings, I'll make my decision on whether or not I want to move into secondary or leave the beer additionally. My plan right now is to perhaps take some fresh grapefruit, the actual pulp of the fruit and some zest, and I got some Deep Eddy's grapefruit vodka, so I'll sanitize that in there and throw it in secondary for probably like the last 2 days of secondary, and I'll do secondary of anywhere from 5 to 7 days. I'm not going to leave it in there for more than 7 days in secondary. The secondary is really to allow any excess proteins and trub to kind of come off the beer. Once that is done, the goal is to basically get this beer into bottles. I'll probably bring the fermentation chamber up to 65 to 68 degrees. Put all my bottles in here in lots of bottle condition for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I'll start sampling bottles to check the carbonation and overall taste. So it's going well. I'm happy with it. I mean, obviously the blow off was a stupid mistake. I should have figured that this was going to kick off a lot more, because this is the first beer that I've done where I've really given the yeast everything they need in terms of a yeast starter, double pitching the yeast, oxygenation, and yeast nutrient. So even though the starting gravity was at 1060, it's not really like a big beer, but I should have expected it to really kick off with a bang, especially with temperature control and everything else. So yeah, I'll try to do another video in the next 2 days. I'm not going to do it every day just because I don't expect too much dramatic change, but that's all dependent on what's going on. And everyone just pray for my little beer bug here. This sucker went through it. It got blown straight up the walls, about like 5 to 6 inches straight up into my lid. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, okay, cheers.